I will support the motion to defer, and I understand everything that Commissioner DeGenova is saying, as well as her dad stuff, because I got a lot of dad stuff too. But with that being said, big dad stuff, but with that being said, I almost wish that the accessibility and disability people were here, because I actually sat as liaison beforehand, my last term, and what I have heard is as much as I actually want to leave it as it is, because again, I was out there with Loretta Woodcock, and it was all about migratory birds, and it's all about the foreshore, and it's all about keeping things as they are. So I'm very supportive of keeping it as it is. With that being said, I do think there's things that we can do. Number one, let's bring back to the board what has been passed previously, because I think that's a big piece. I think that's educating not only us, but maybe we want to look as commissioners, what do we do to have some kind of information that is actually in that space, interpretive signage, so that it educates people and the boards that are going to come 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, so that they have that education, so that we don't use up this amount of time, so that the staff isn't here going through this again, so we're not repeating. I think this is a learning process. There is nothing wrong, and again, thank Commissioner Bly for bringing it forward, because this is education. It's allowing you folks to come forward and speak to something that's dear and near to your heart. As Eleanor Hadley, the lovely Eleanor said, these are good stories, but it's also something that's educating all of us. So the one piece I do have to take into consideration is when I hear somebody saying they're carrying their stroller all the way down to that beach, and that was me. And there's many times that I dropped the stroller and that my kids did not make it down there safely. So there's certain things that we may want to look at that aren't seawall, that are ways that we look to make sure that there is an accessible area offside and it's improved. Doesn't mean that we're coming in with anything that's not green. We can look at that. We do amazing work these days, and I think that that's an option. And I think if the people in the wheelchairs were still here, and if I think that the Accessibility and Disability Committee were here, as Commissioner DeGenova had said, they have not been heard for years and years and years, and they have every right to be on every public piece of property that the Vancouver Park Board owns and runs. So with that being said, I think there's things that we can learn. I think that there's things we can be doing better. It's not saying that we're going forward with a seawall, it's just saying that we need to listen to what you're saying, but we need to listen to the people that didn't stay through the whole evening, because I think they'd have a few words to say about this as well.